We are the one, the light in the dark. One heart, one world, one spark. We are the one, together we rise. One dream, one voice, one sky.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Women Empowered Across the World. And this is our podcast. And I have Raksha from Miami. I have Jackie from Arizona and Africa. Her heart's in Africa, guys. And I have Bailan from California. I have Melissa from Texas. And I have Renata from Oregon. And I'm from Florida. And we are excited to have Kay come and join us and share her inspiring story with everyone. Kay, come join us.
Yes, thank you so much. I want to start by saying thank you that this is an honor to be a part of your podcast for you and all the wonderful ladies that I've had a chance to meet on today. So this is truly exciting, and I love to share my story, my journey. Because it kind of shaped who I am today and what it is that I do. So I am Kay Reddy. I am here in Michigan. It is cold here this time of the year, but I've learned to deal with it, right? So I am an inspirational speaker. I also am a pastor at my church, and I am a real estate associate broker. And so my story kind of began with my own struggles. So, what I do is I help women who are dealing with self doubt and imposter syndrome. I help them overcome that, and I help them walk in their purpose and to understand that no matter what their story is, that it is not too late. And so, with that being said, I struggled for many years with imposter syndrome, not believing that I was even worthy of being in a new space, being in a space of success, being in a space of women coming to me for advice. And so, because of that, it stagnated me so much. See, I come from a background of a very well kept home. It was a home of a single mother, but it was very well kept. I was an all A and B student from as far as I could remember. I don't remember ever getting anything less than a B. And I knew that one day I wanted to kind of venture off into entrepreneur. It didn't start being an entrepreneur. It didn't start that way. It kind of started with me wanting to, go into nursing or become a teacher. But I quickly found that that really wasn't the avenue that I wanted to go in. Although I guess I'm kind of in a teacher role. But when I was 16 years old, I found myself in an abusive relationship and a single mother. And so, where all of my peers were, worrying about prom and graduation photos, here I was, a teen mom being abused physically, mentally, emotionally, and trying to figure out like how did I get myself here, like how did I get to this space, and how do I get myself out of this space. And so again, I always knew that there was something different about me, but I didn't quite understand what it was. I thought that maybe I was just shy. I always felt like I didn't really fit in into a lot of spaces and into a lot of places. And I didn't really understand that at the time. But as I got older, I kind of understood what was going on with me. And so, being like as young as 10 years old, I decided that I wanted to start my own business. And so I knew that there was something on the inside of me that wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't grow up around entrepreneurs, but I'm like, it would be really cool to be a business owner. And so at 10 years old, I decided that I was going to start my own business. So it was me. And then my job actually was to iron my grandparents' clothes. So this was the business that I had created. I would iron their clothes, and then I would oversee my employees. Now, my employees was my younger brother and my younger sister. Those were my employees. And my brother's job was to like carry their bags to and from the car if they had to go on vacation. So that was his job. And then my sister, her job was to wake them up when it was time for them to go to work because they worked the midnight shift. And so that was literally my first encounter with being an entrepreneur, being a business owner. And I knew like one day, I think I really would be good at this. And so because I understood that I was a leader, although I was shy, although in my mind, I would hear things like, you're not good enough. Look at the way that you look. I would just look at all of my flaws, and that stuff would just play over and over and over. And then I would be like, you didn't even graduate from high school. Like I didn't graduate from high school. And so all of that would just play on me and play in my mind repeatedly and repeatedly. When I was 18, I did say, you know what? I'm going to try this thing again because I really feel like there's something on the inside of me that can really do this. And so at 18 years old, I decided to become an Avon consultant. And I did that. I was like the Avon lady. And, I would incorporate my children and all of that in it. But what I quickly discovered was it wasn't that my strong suit was selling products. My strong suit was actually bringing other women on and helping them develop and helping them to earn money. And so I was like, okay, I think I'm figuring this thing out. I had experienced some success. I got top recruiter. I would get award after award. I would help other women receive awards. But the funny thing is that most people would have thought that I had arrived, but I hadn't, because I still was dealing with that imposter. Like, who do you think you are? You don't belong here. You didn't even finish high school. What are you thinking? Nobody wants to hear anything that you have to say. And I mean, that thing like really, really gripped me. And what I found is that so many other women are dealing with the same thing, that they allow their past, they allow negative other things that people are speaking to them, even what they're speaking to themselves, that cause them to be limited and cause them to play small. And so I was always the type of person that was going to take risk. I was a risk taker. And so I decided in 2012, I said, look, I'm going to go get my real estate license. It was a down market. It was a bad market. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. But even other real estate agents were like, you don't want to do this. Like, it's a terrible market. You're not going to make money. And oftentimes I would just kind of shy away and just go ahead and do my own thing. And that's literally what I did this time. I said, you know what? I have nothing to lose. I have nothing at this point to lose. I'm going to go for it. And what I found was after a few years, I had created a 6-figure income. I had decided to bring on other real estate agents, begin to train them and cultivate them and help them in their mind. And again, I felt like finally I've gotten to this place that I have been looking to get to. But again, those negative thoughts, they just kept bearing down on me like, you don't belong here. So even though I was moving forward, I was stuck in my mind, battling if I am even in the space that I belong. And I got to the point to where I felt like, you know what? I am just going to settle here. I'm just going to accept these negative things that I'm saying to myself. I'm just going to be here. I wasn't in a bad space, but I understood that if there's more, I don't know how I'm going to get to the more. And it was just one day, I can remember it so well. I worked the altar with my pastor. And one Sunday, I was at the altar and she said, you don't know who you are. She said, you don't understand the value that you possess. And I looked at her and I said, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I do know who I am. I do understand the value. And it was almost like she was reading my mind, because she looked at me again and said, you don't. you don't know who you are. She said, there is a nation of women that is waiting for you to step into your purpose because you have something on the inside of you that will push them into who they have been created to be. And on the inside of me, I just began to melt. It was just like an experience that I had. I've never had this type of experience with God concerning my purpose. And so I began to try to fight back the tears. And I'm like, I don't, but I couldn't hold back. It was just something that felt like gut wrenching on the inside of me. It felt like it had just pierced literally my inner core. And I'm like, what in the world? And I thought back on her words that said, there is a nation of women that are waiting for you to step into your purpose. And they can't move forward until you step into who you have been called to be. And it was like in that very moment, I said, oh my God, I need to step it up. I need to stop playing small. I need to, stop all this negative talk. And I begin to think like maybe, just maybe, this imposter syndrome, this negative things, maybe that is not who I am. Maybe my past is bigger. My purpose is bigger than my past. It's bigger than my mistakes. It's bigger than where I was. And I said, you know what? I have to do this because one thing that I understood is that my past, it didn't come to paralyze me, but it came to propel me into my future and into my purpose. And through that, that is when I began to understand like the experience that I had, the words that she spoke. I understood that that was just the thing that initiated everything because at that point I understood that there was work that I had to do. There was still work that needed to be done. And so once I was clear in my mind that, okay, you're going to do this and you're going to go all in with this, I began to gain clarity. I began to hear clear. I began to see clearly. I began to get downloads. I was able to create a devotional journal that with some of the techniques and the tools that I used in order to help me get from that negative mindset, in order for me to step into my power. And then also, that is when God gave me Wired, which is what I have on today. And it's spelled a little bit unique because the her kind of stands out. But Wired is women inspired to rise, empower, and dominate. Because as women, I believe that we can rise above self doubt, that we can be empowered, not just for ourselves, but to be empowered to empower other women, and that we can dominate in every area of our life if we surround ourselves around the right people, we have the right community, we have the right support, and we have intentional actions. And so that is how I became to get to where I am today. And it is a continual work because sometimes those negative things try to rise up in me again, but I have to stand firm and say, no, that is not my reality. That is not who I am. I have been created to bring others out. I have power that lies on the inside of me, and it's a continual self talk. But what I understand is what we believe is what our actions do, whether it's good or whether it's bad. And so life and death is in the power of the tongue. And we have to understand that we have the voice to create our reality. We just have to make sure that we walk intentionally in what it is that we're doing.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, wow. Um, Thank you so much for coming and sharing your story with us. Oh, this is going to inspire so many women. One of the things I want to ask you is please, in your sphere of influence, please share this episode with others so many more women can hear it can hear you and be inspired by your life. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. I sure will.
Absolutely. Okay. So we have some people I think that have some questions for you. Okay. So Renata, yeah, come. Come ask your question.
Thank you so much, Ray. It's so beautiful to watch you. I can be here for hours, I think. And I think everybody can agree with me because it the most important, I think, when I hear you, it's not your words, but the energy that you show to us. Like, wow, like and it's very inspiring. So it's like, if I can do it, you can do it, because you understood that we are bigger than our paradigms and bigger than our circumstance. And we can also understand that those thoughts, it's possible to change. So this is the beauty. And I hope this podcast inspire a lot of people that need to do this shift. And I just want to congratulations and ask you, my question is, so what are you doing with all of that now? Yeah.
Yeah. So actually what I've been doing since I've launched Wired, it's pretty much an online community that inspire and empower women as far as, different things in life, different things in their business to help them be able to succeed. And so this year, 2024, was our very first conference that we had in the spring. And so that would be something annual that we will be doing to gather women together so that they could be around like-minded women and get the tools and the strategies that they need in order to be able to dominate in their perspective purpose.
Wow.
Thank you.
So
Awesome.
thank you. Okay, Melissa, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
I just want to say, okay, I acknowledge you for everything that you have gone through to get to where you are today. And I just want to let you know that took something, and I was inspired by your story. Um, I think all of us on here have fought with or dealt with imposter syndrome, at some point in their entrepreneurship journey. And so, what really helped you? Because I know that it's kind of like this repeating voice sometimes that comes back. Like, what do you say to yourself, or what do you do to shift that, to keep going, to keep moving forward towards your purpose when that happens?
Yes, that's a very great question. And I definitely believe that we have power in what we say. And I understand that the words that we use can put us in a different type of mood. And so what I do is I speak to myself. Literally, if I have to do it in the mirror, if I have to do it in the car, whatever I have to do it, I have to keep telling myself, you are worthy. You do deserve to be here. People do want to hear what it is that you have to say. And what that does is the more that you begin to speak life over yourself, the more that you will begin to believe it. You may not believe it in the beginning, but I promise you, the more that you do it, the more that I did it, it just became in me. And when you have um, positive things that you're surrounding yourself with, whether it's words or people, it just puts you in a different posture. You have a different attitude.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So, Kay, my program is I work with people in having them see the limited mindset and be able to create a thriving mindset. And I run a podcast called Let's Thrive Together Mindset. It's the biggest deal. And I'd love to have you come on my podcast also and do the exercises and experience the exercises that I created in YEA to have people distinguish that limited mindset and then create a powerful, empowering, kicks you back into action and in life, uh, uh, you know, empowered space for you to live from instead of that limited self-talk that we all hear and will take us down a dark tunnel if we listen to it for long enough. So I'd love to have you come and be a guest on that podcast also.
Sure, absolutely. I would love to.
Absolutely, because you already have some tools for yourself around living inside of a thriving mindset. So that's going to be a very exciting episode. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Melissa, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
I had one more for Kay. So Kay, I know that you inspire a lot of women through your podcast, through your conference, but also in your business and building teams. What do you say to your teams to encourage them to move forward in their purpose when they have that limiting mindset as well?
Yes. So what I usually do for them is I will take them through some of the exercises that I do. But one thing that I try to instill in them is that we are all here for a reason and we all have a purpose and we have to own it. A lot of the women that I mentor, that I've coached, they kind of dealt with whatever in their past. And that's what coined the phrase, your past does not paralyze you, but it pushes you into your purpose. That we have to understand that no matter where we come from, we can still be used no matter how hard the story, how hard the situation was. There is still something on the inside of you that other people need to see and hear.
Wow. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Anybody else have a question for her before we go? Okay, go ahead, Jackie.
Yes, it's amazing all the things that you've done and how you've come out of it and come up with some wonderful ways to help women. But my question to you is, what do you need now? Who do you need now?
That's a very great question. I would say for myself, I always seek out mentorship. So I never feel like I'm above a mentor or a coach because oftentimes people feel like when they're in that space that they don't need anything further. But I am a firm believer that I grow by other people pouring into me. And so I would say that I am always looking or always attached to some coach, to a mentor, someone that can pour into me to even get me to the next level, because I understand that we never arrive. There's always room for growth.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love your mindset.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So, guys, once again, another amazing episode with Kay. Please, please, if you love these episodes, please subscribe to our channel. Make sure you like them, and please hit the notification bell so that you get all of our episodes. Okay, this is, I think, number 31. Wow. So guys, please though, share. That's the big piece, is share this so that it goes out further. It goes out to so many women that need to hear this. And the ones that do hear this, guys, reach out to Kay. Reach out and see how she might be able to work with you in, especially in what your purpose is and your goals are. Okay. And thank you everyone for being here. And we will see you again on Friday. Bye, everyone.
When we stand